Welcome to PTI Video. We have not one but two guests with us today. We have with us Dimitris, who is the President for Europe, Middle East and Africa at the Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. We also have Rahool, who is the Market Managing Director for Eurasia at the Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. Dimitris and Rahool, welcome to PTI Video.
Thank you very much. Lovely to be here.
Thank you very much for inviting us. Really appreciate it.
So Dimitris, first up, I'd like you to give our viewers some perspective on where does Wyndham stand in the global landscape. What's your business model like? You are the world's largest hotels franchisor. You're listed on NASDAQ. Tell us more.
Look, we, as you very rightly said, we're the world's biggest franchisor of hotels. We've got 9,250 hotels in 95 countries. Actually, we're very busy because we open 1.2 hotels every day, including weekends. So quite a busy business. We're listed on Wall Street since we became public about, I think it was 7 years ago, May 2018. 99% of our business is franchise. We have 25 brands. We're the leaders in the economy and mid-scale space across the world. And we've got some of the most loved brands across the world. We are our Days Inn and Super 8 brands in the United States, China, and in other parts of the world. We have our Ramada brand, which is a brand, especially here in India, people love, and it's growing by the day. We've got our La Quinta brand, which again, it's a brand that we've acquired a few years back, and we've got about 900 La Quintas, again, in the United States predominantly, but now we're growing La Quinta all over the world. And yeah, we're excited about our business model. It's a business model that works. It's a business model that is very simple, to be fair. We do not own. We operate only a few. We do not lease. We're just a brand company that franchises some amazing brands to thousands of owners around the world who want to do business with us. So pretty straightforward, very simple, and I dare say, very successful.
So Dimitris, Ramada is your best known brand in India. Do you have plans to bring more of your global brands to India or acquire some Indian brands?
Of course. Ramada is one of the most beloved brands across the world, not just India. We launched Wyndham Garden a few years back, and is getting a lot of traction. We're now looking at bringing more brands into India for the simple reason because, but I'll go back for a second. It's not a purpose, our only purpose of bring more brands. You have to be careful at the timing that you bring new brands, why you bring new brands. Do they fit with the market? Do they fit with the owners? Do they fit with the destination? So for us, it's not like, oh, you know what? We've got 25 brands across the world. All 25 need to be in India. That's not the purpose. About a year ago, we signed an agreement with Nile Hospitality, and we're launching the Microtel brand in India, for example. That was an interesting brand for us to bring to India. There is one brand that we launched, we bought 2 years ago in Europe, Vienna House. My inspiration is, and I keep on reminding Rahool, what are you doing? You know, you got to bring Vienna House to India. But we've got such a great portfolio of brands that they fit with certain markets at a certain time. So yes, the answer is yes, we're going to bring more brands, but equally we want to make sure that we grow the brands that we currently have in India.
So Rahool, turning to you now, you've launched hotels recently in Lucknow at the airport, in Jim Corbett, in Srinagar. Could you give our viewers a sense of how many hotels are in the pipeline for Wyndham in India?
I think it's a great question, and the answer to that question is that the goalpost keeps changing. But before that, let me tell you that the growth has been phenomenal for us. We have not been running, we've actually been sprinting. And I love this word. And Dimitris is here, and today I presented this word, sprinting, to him. We have more than 70 hotels, and very soon we're going to be 100. Saying that, and we've done it in, less than 1/4 the time the other global brands have done it. Saying that, we are very well accepted in India. We are well recognized in India. I think we went to the market at the right time, in the right places, getting the right brands in the right cities. It's also important for the market to accept that brand at that time. So I think that worked very well. Talking about the pipeline, as we speak, we have about more than 50 hotels in the pipeline, and growing. So today I might say 50, and tomorrow the number would change. So it's a moving goalpost for us, but it's a very fast and sprinting goalpost for us.
So could you give us a timeline as to by when these 50 hotels are expected to be operational, and how many room keys can we expect across these 50 hotels that you mentioned are in the pipeline?
Yeah, so again, it's difficult to give a timeline because they are not in one state, they're not in one location. A lot depends on the local bodies as well. What I know for a fact is that the appetite to build hotels has become much faster as compared to earlier. Everybody wants to open hotels faster. But hotel business is such that, you have to go for different licenses to different windows. In some states are extremely flexible with that. Some states take a little longer time, but, saying that we can see that, more states are becoming more flexible with all these aspects. 50 hotels, when I say what's going to be the pipeline in terms of opening them, typically a hotel takes about 3 years, but now what you're noticing at this point of time is that, it's taking lesser time. It's taking lesser time. It's a sub 2 years for a 100 rooms hotel to open, depending on the location. Also, you have to realize in hill stations, during the monsoons or during, extreme climate times, the construction stops. So, I can't say 2 years, but it can actually be about 3 years over there. So that's the issue.
So can we say that by 2028 you are expecting to add about 50 new hotels to the Wyndham portfolio in India?
I would like to say that, but when I say that, I'm going to tell you that whatever targets we usually give, we have actually been faster than that, and it depends a lot on the market, how market perceives us.
And if he commits, I will remember at his performance review, and I will say, why didn't you do that? So he's very careful in committing to numbers. He's a politician. He does it very well. I like it. I need to learn.
How do you plan to drive revenue growth from the India market? Are you focusing more on the luxury segment, the premium segment, or is the focus also on mid-scale segment?
Actually, the focus is on all the three segments, to be very honest. Our strength has been mid-market, and that's where we realize the biggest pie is. And also for, as you see, the per capita of income of Indians is increasing drastically, and it's more in the mid-market pyramid. So, our maximum growth is happening there, but saying that, we are also coming up with more luxury hotels. Not really luxury, but upper market hotels. We're coming up with the first Wyndham Grand in Udaipur. Our Wyndhams are a little ahead in terms of their more upmarket hotels. Slowly and gradually, you're seeing the needle moving towards more of Wyndham hotels coming here, which is upper market hotels for us. So in terms of revenues, yes, it's the upper market which I feel is kind of gaining more traction.
So, Dimitris, what excites you about the India market, and how do you see India's potential?
Wow, I'm so excited that I come here every month. Just to be clear, I'll tell you what excites me. First of all, India has been very good to us. We're blessed because we've been here for many years. Not just us, a lot of our peers, a lot of other international brands. We have huge respect for what the local Indian brands have done, not just for the Indian hospitality, but hospitality as in general, the love of hospitality in this country. So what excites me is, first of all, the fact that people love hospitality in this country. The fact that still the young population is still passionate about hospitality in this country, working in this industry, which we've lost that feeling in Europe. We don't have this sense in Europe. Third, the unbelievable growth potential that exists in this country. A lot of people ask me, when is India going to be the next China? I said, forget about it. India has its own story. It has its own story. Don't compare India with anything. It has its own story. India has been good to us. I'm excited about the potential. I'm excited about the outbound potential. You know, when you are strong in a country, what do you actually do? You create a captive audience for those Indian consumers who are going to travel around the world in the next 10 to 15 years. Where they're going to stay? They're going to stay at a Ramada. They're going to stay at a Days Inn. They're going to stay at a Wyndham. Why? Because they're familiar with our brands in India. I was in Tbilisi, Georgia, about 2 months ago. It was like taken over by Indians. I couldn't believe how many Indians were in Tbilisi, Georgia, and how many are actually staying in our hotel. Why? Because they know our hotels from India. So when they travel abroad, these millions of middle-class consumers that they are aspirational to travel, I want them to travel and stay at a hotel of Wyndhams. So for us, India is not just about domestic and growth. It is about the potential of the outbound market. Plus, very important, we need to bring more people to India. We need more inbound tourists and travelers to understand and feel the beauty of incredible India. I cannot really grasp in my head how Greece, my native country, in 9 months of the year attracts 35 million tourists, and India only has 15 million tourists with 1.4 billion population. And such an amazing landscape and such an amazing places. So we are not just here to make money or to talk about growth. We are here to do the right thing for India's hospitality as well. We have 115 million Wyndham Rewards members in our loyalty scheme. We want to introduce, and we keep on introducing, incredible India to all these people. So for us, it's so many different things and what India means to us. That excites me.
But Dimitris, despite its huge potential, why do you think India has not been able to attract foreign tourists in substantial numbers, despite the huge potential that you mentioned?
There's a lot of good stuff happening. First of all, the visa application. It was a challenge. Remember, you need a visa to get into this country. Now you get an online visa, an e-visa. It's getting easier. The airports. The infrastructure development that the present government is doing is phenomenal. A lot of people are, again, I'm going to go back to China and say the comparison. But why? Because the infrastructure, the new ports, the new airports, the new highways, the new trains, all of this creates an incredible opportunity for India to capture that demand. Plus, it's so many different things. It's spiritual tourism. The growth of spiritual tourism in this country, the growth of gastronomy tourism, the connection with the airlines. Again, talking about Greece. Next year, Aegean Airlines, which is the biggest regional airline for Greece, is going to have a direct flight in New Delhi. That will mean that we are going to introduce to millions of Greeks who are traveling abroad, we're going to introduce India. Because now they have to go through Dubai or they have to go through Qatar or whatever to get to Delhi. Now they're going to have an direct flight. There's so many things that play a role. But the good things that I see is the steady growth year on year in making sure that more and more people get introduced to incredible India. There was a bit of disappointment, to be fair, when the government cut the budget of promoting India to the world, but I do know there are a lot of reactive actions are happening. I see India being featured in major hospitality shows, in major hospitality events. So I think they realized that hospitality is a major employer. We are one of the biggest employers in the country. We're a good contributor to the GDP, and at the same time, we are the industry that makes sure that India gets known to the world by bringing more people here.
Would you say that we need to market India
100%,
better?
100%. More, better and more frequent.
And is there also a need for further easing the visa processes and for more direct flights to international
100%.
destinations?
100%. Direct flights, absolutely critical. Opening up those flights and those routes, absolutely critical. Make entry into the country as easier as possible. You see, people today, they need ease. They need ease when they travel. They don't want to be burdened by long processes and difficult to get to processes, including visas. You've done a tremendous effort and steps, positive steps as a country, but it needs a bit more in order for more people to be introduced to why I keep on saying Incredible India. And why I'm using Incredible India, because I remember years ago, that was the tagline of your tourism campaign. I still love it. I still believe that's exactly what it is, Incredible India. And I heard in a conference the other day that we need to replace Incredible India with Irresistible India. You cannot resist India. It's just a beautiful country, and we need people to realize more what India has to offer.
So you're in love with India?
I'm in love with India. I'm in love with your food. I'll give you an example, actually, which is very interesting. 10 years ago, in the city that I was born, Athens, there were 0 Indian restaurants. There are 40 Indian restaurants now. Greeks were introduced to the Indian food. For us, there's a huge difference between your food to ours, because we don't use many ingredients, olive oil, lemon, oregano. You use these wonderful spices. For us, that wasn't part of our culture. Now, we have more than 40 Indian restaurants in the city, and Greeks love Indian food. But how gastronomy helps? Introducing the culture, introducing the beauty of what India has to offer. Everything plays a role. And I think that there are great steps that have been made, but I think it needs to be more frequent. There would be more easy steps, and at the same time, more efforts to promote India to the world.
Wonderful. So Rahul, could you tell us about your mid-scale growth strategy, because Wyndham is focusing on tier 2 and tier 3 cities in India for expansion. Do you believe that that's where the next phase of growth is coming from?
Yeah, I very strongly believe in that, and unlike the other international brands, we actually started from tier 2, tier 3 cities. We kind of franchise hotels in those parts, and we were very well accepted. And that's actually the story of India. The mid-market or the middle class actually is most synonymous to these mid-market hotels. So our growth started from there. We have now become very famous. We have entered the metro cities as well. But yes, if you ask me, after the domestic brands, we were the first international brands to penetrate in these tier 2, tier 3 markets.
Dimitris, I wanted your views on this cancel culture and how social media is increasingly influencing travel trends, all these boycott trends that we see for travel destinations. We saw that recently with Operation Sindoor, the military conflict between India and Pakistan. There were boycott calls for destinations like Turkey and Azerbaijan. How do you view this?
We are a global company, and I'll tell you honestly, I've been serving this industry for 36 years now. I'll tell you how old I am. There's only one thing that I can tell you of the 36 years that I've seen since the first day I joined this industry. We're the industry of peace, we're the industry of happiness, and we are the industry of bringing cultures together. People do not have, we have more things that unite us than divide us. The hospitality industry, I've seen people that in theory they are in conflict, sitting in a lobby of a hotel together and enjoying what this hotel has to offer or what this destination has to offer. Social media play a very big role in the way destinations are viewed. But I think real life is the real proof. Social media can tell you anything or can present anything that you want, but it's real life. And what I've seen in real life is I have seen people enjoying holidays, enjoying a great break, with their families and connecting with people, irregardless of conflict and challenges between nations. And to be fair, again, Turkey is a wonderful destination. And they will be very soon reconnecting with India, because, as I said, there are more things to unite us as human beings than divide us. And I really have seen that. And by the way, history has proven that the hospitality industry is the great connector that makes sure that these things do happen. So I'm very confident. I'm very happy about how the hospitality industry is serving peace and is serving people united and bringing cultures together. And I'm very hopeful that this will continue in the years to come.
But Dimitris, this global uncertainty that surrounded us post-COVID, when the hospitality sector was perhaps the worst hit, with wars ravaging and with tariff uncertainties also now, what sort of an impact do you see, what sort of headwinds do you see for the hospitality sector emanating from these uncertainties?
You ask a very interesting question. If I think of myself 5 years ago, when I sat in my room and we had to close so many hotels, and I thought the industry was over. I mean, you saw things in TVs and you realize that, my God, we're going to stay in our homes forever with this COVID pandemic. And look what happened 2 years later. We are serving the most resilient industry in the world. There will be 1.4 billion people traveling around the world this year. That shows to you that travel is not a luxury. Travel is a necessity. Travel is the only way that you connect with those who you love, the only way you connect with the people that matter the most in your life, and the way that you gain traction in your life and you become a better human being. When I look at my phone, most of my photos are related on things related to hospitality. Kids in a restaurant, my wife and I with my family in a beautiful location when we travel. Photos in my social media about great destinations that I have traveled. That gives me the hope that what we went through, all the headwinds that we have experienced, and we will continue to experience. Don't get me wrong, headwinds, they're not going to go away, they will happen. But we are serving the most resilient industry in the world, because travel is a necessity. Travel is a must in people's life. It's not a luxury. That's why we have more and more people traveling, because people need to connect. Grandparents need to meet their grandkids. Husband needs to meet wife. People will travel for business. People will travel for recreational. People will need to travel to experience new experiences and go to new destinations. For me, that's the beauty of the industry that I've been serving for 36 years. And I'm very fascinated about the future. A lot of people talk about technology and about artificial intelligence, and human connection in this industry will still be the decisive factor why we all still enjoy doing what we're doing.
Coming to AI,
I was wondering if you were going to ask me. That's why I brought it up myself. I'm like, where is AI? It hasn't come up yet. 5 minutes and it hasn't come up yet.
So, Wyndham did introduce an AI chatbot in the US, I believe that
Yes.
was a year ago. What plans do you have for the India market in this direction, in the direction of AI and generative AI?
Look, AI is never, first of all, let me make something very clear. AI will never replace the human factor in hospitality. Our industry is about connecting. It's about loving people, right? We do this because we love what we do. We love serving people. So it will never replace human connection. That's one. Second, it will help us make certain jobs more productive. So for example, when you check in at the hotel and the receptionist doesn't even engage with you and punches keys on the keyboard, that will go away, and it will be able to connect and look at you in the eye and say, welcome back. Because artificial intelligence and technology will help do all the rest. These are the things that I'm very hopeful artificial intelligence will help us. It will help us with food waste. It will help us with energy preservation. It will help us with become more sufficient, more sustainable hospitality. But it will never replace the human factor in hospitality. The Greeks invented hospitality. I was ready to say that. We invented hospitality thousands of years ago. The basic things in hospitality haven't changed. What is that? The human connection. We are bringing artificial intelligence not just in India. And remember, this is the technology hub of the world, right? India technology, the things that you guys are doing here in technology are phenomenal. Yes, we will have bots and artificial intelligence helping us process data and make sure that the receptionist doesn't spend time punching keyboard but looking in your eyes. We will do all that, but we will do it in a way that we respect the employees, we respect the people that they work in our hotels, we respect the guests, and we respect the fact that human connection will never be replaced by a bot. Never in a million years.
Golden words.
I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right, because I would hate to go to a place that there are no human beings and I don't connect with anybody. I know sometimes we do want that. We just want a key and we want to go to our room, but that's not what hospitality stands for. The word itself is more just a bot or a card and a key and you go to your room and you don't meet people. We thrive by connecting people. We thrive by doing what we're doing every single day. Technology, AI, bots, yes, absolutely, it will help, but it will not replace the human connection.
So Rahul, in terms of the number of jobs in India, where does Wyndham stand? How many workers do you have currently? And if you can share a number in mind as to how many workers you plan to hire as you go ahead with your expansion plans in India.
Yeah, so hospitality is a people's industry, and people are the main machines in this industry. It's very difficult to put a number to that, because there are some direct employees and there are some indirect employees, which we employ. Again, it also depends on the kind of hotel where we are. It also depends on the location where you are, but saying that, there is flexibility, there is technology which is coming, and there are certain places where, you actually need technology for the efficiency of the hotels to do well. There the manpower would be lesser, but saying that, it's a people's industry, it is a people's job. We try to hire more, we try to encourage, wherever there's a human element, wherever there's a human touch point, we employ, but it's difficult to give you a number, and that number can again, it can change.
I'll help here in what extent. I'll give you the perspective of how we look at India and Rahool's business. We're employing more talent in India, corporate-wise. So we're bringing more people to the Indian office. We just moved to a beautiful office in Gurgaon. We're bringing more people to the Indian office because there's a lot of talent here that can support not the growth of India just, but they support the EMEA business overall, the business that I'm responsible for, right? So that's one. Second, I know you cover a lot of government ministries and stuff. I want to remind government through you that we are one of the biggest direct and indirect employers. Hospitality is not just about hotels. A lot of people sometimes confuse hospitality, hotels. No, the taxi drivers, the restaurants, the airport workers, the guys in the buses. Everything relates to hospitality. The guys who manufacture, artifacts. All of that relates directly or indirectly to hospitality. And we're the biggest employer. Why we're the biggest employer? Because you have the 1.4 billion people that are going to travel. They're all going to come to India, but hopefully many of them will come eventually. So corporate-wise, we're bringing more employers to the corporate office in India because we have a great talent here. Second, something that I want to remind through you, everybody who's watching, in terms of what India stands from a hospitality perspective. In the past, India used to be the workforce. Now is the management. When I grew up in hospitality, you couldn't be a general manager of a hotel unless you are British, Swiss, German, or I don't know, whatever nationality. Now, Indians, Southeast Asians, GMs, head of departments. Now India is replacing, an Indian talent is replacing, is not the workforce anymore, it's the management. And that's what I see, and it makes me so excited. You asked me what excites me about India. That's one thing that excites me as well. The fact that I see the growth of the talent, not just in India, but outside of India. You go to Dubai, I dare say statistics, I think more than 30-40% of the management and the workforce and the leaders there in hospitality, they are from this region. That's phenomenal. That wasn't the case 10-15 years ago. There are more people enrolled in hospitality schools in this country than anywhere else. That gives me a lot of hope about the employment, direct and indirect, and not just Wyndham, all our peers. The local great companies that you have, the great international brands that they play here, they all share the same vision.
You're right, Dimitris. In fact, it is an entire ecosystem, the hospitality sector. Can we say that India is one of your top markets or will be one of your top markets in the coming years, and what's the timeline
Yes.
that you're looking at?
Yes. Yes.
Why?
And yes. Why? Because he said it very nicely, the growth. I believe there's not going to be tier 2 and tier 3 cities very soon. They're all going to be tier 1 cities because of the growth and the infrastructure, the airports. I mean, you're building 40 airports, 45 airports as we speak. Look what the new Bangalore airport has done to Bangalore, right? Amazing. Tier 4 and tier 5 cities will soon become tier 2 and tier 3, and then become tier 1. That is for me the biggest opportunity. The fact that there is no real timeline. Because if you put a timeline, you restrict yourself. I've heard, and we're doing exactly the same. We say, oh, by 2030, we're going to have X. No, do not restrict yourself. Allow your imagination to help you reach the potential that I believe this country will have. This is, and I remember a headline of one of the Economist magazine in the UK, this is India's decade. That's why we're here. But I want to remind your viewers, it wasn't because that's why we're here. We've been here 10, 15 years already. So it's not because we saw and we realized, oh my God, we need to be now in India because everybody's talking about India. We've been here the good, the bad, and the challenging years. And we will continue to be because we believe in the prospect. Now, when? Sooner than I believe, and that we both believe, because I can see it. I can see it coming. I can see the new signings. I can see the international brands coming in. I can see more Indians traveling. I can see the biggest aviation history, biggest kind of order in the aviation history, 920 planes. I see all that, and that gives me a lot of comfort.
So we can say in conclusion that Wyndham is eyeing India as one of its top markets.
Absolutely. I said yes 3 times. Yes 3 times. I hope God will give me health so I can come here, I continue to come here, and I can witness it more often.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, both of you, for speaking to PTI Video. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the invitation. We really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us. Really
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you for having us.